Hi everyone, welcome to this video. Aryan here, and today we are going to create this section here. Actually, this is a 404 page, an error page, right? And we are going to build it by using Bricks Builder. If you want to know more about my setup, you can check the description of this video. So let's start right away. First of all, let's go on our website. And if you go on Bricks and Templates, you have all your templates here, right? You can create a new one. I made this one called 404 error 1. It's empty, of course, but make sure if you want to use it right away to select error page here. And when you select error page, this template will be working whenever people get to a page, of course, with error or a non-existing page, for example. In this case, I will select section just to make the design, right? So you can update and then edit with bricks. And we will get to our empty template here, and I would start with section. I will click the container, and with the container selected, go on display, grid, and here I'm using AutomaticCSS, so I usually right click and just click on 2, and now I have 2 grids. You can also add some gap here, so right click if you're using AutomaticCSS. Otherwise you need to use, EM, those kind of, or pixel, whatever you want. So, okay, we set it up like this. I'm trying to go quickly here, okay? Container selected, go on plus button and click on block. And now the block is inside of the container. I would call this block left. I would duplicate it and call this block right. Click on block left again. And then go on plus button, search for div, and here on div you click the div. You can call it like tag title or whatever you want. Let's say let's call it 404 title wrapper. It's a little bit complex name. And then, okay, so with this named, now we need to add inside of it some elements, a few elements. The first element, it's an icon. And the second element would be some text, basic text, okay? Now, I would change the text with the one into the design. So I just get the text here and just replace this one, okay? And then the icon, I would change the icon with something similar to the design. Let's see if we find something here. Dot. Okay, it's not the same as the design, but it could work. And then I would say 6 pixel. It's pretty small in the design. Looks like it's a 6 pixel. Yep, 6 pixel. Okay. And then, again, click on the 404 title wrapper. And basically you need to, let's see, display, flex, make sure it's horizontal. So click on it and then you can say center to make sure this is centered. And the icon, let's give a color to the icon actually. So I'm going to give a little color, like could be the primary color in this case. Okay, great. Go back into the wrapper. I don't really like the name of this wrapper. Give me 1 second. Let's call it title wrapper. Okay, so title wrapper. With title wrapper selected, I can go and tell him column gap, and I would select like XS in my case. And then another thing that I would do is style, layout, and padding. So here you need to add some padding, right? So I'm going to add a padding here like 1.5 maybe on the top, EM, okay, something like that. On the bottom, and here maybe I would do 1 EM and 1 EM. Okay, so it's pretty big, so probably here I will just adjust it a little bit. And this one we want maybe like that. I would copy this. Okay, play around with those sizing. And then once done that, we can close this layout tab here and go on border, click on here, style, solid, and you need to add, of course, 1 pixel everywhere. And then the color, you can use a gray color, whatever. Let's see what gray color I have here. Like this. Perfect. And now radius, you know, the design has some rounded borders. So you can say, you know, oops, this is too much maybe. Let me check the design, I'm sorry. Yeah, so the rounded borders is probably like this one, and then just click twice here to have it on all sides. If you click away, as you can see, there is the border, the gray border. Of course, you need to use the correct color. I basically added very, very quickly. You can also add some box shadow if you want, by saying like 5 here, color, choose up. Oops, I'm sorry, I went on the wrong layer here. I'm on the section. You need to go back on the title wrapper, and here you have box shadow, of course, and you can, you know, add the box shadow. Now this is too much, and blur. Ooh. So yeah, basically you can, you know, you can play around with this and just like this. I made it very quickly. You need to play around, of course, to make it more similar to the design. So let's go forward quickly. So the title wrapper, now it's done. Click again on block left and let's add the rest of the elements, plus button, and then I would search for heading. And then what I have here, some text. So let me copy page not found. Whoa. And then I will click on plus, basic text. Where does the basic text went? Oh, here. So make sure the basic text get inside of the block left. Sometimes, I don't know why, bricks just throw them outside of the layers. So the basic text is here now, and now we need to add 2 buttons. And to add 2 buttons, I would go on plus button first, add a div, and again it's throwing the div outside of it. Let me save and refresh, because I think bricks is playing a little bit. Okay, so let me click again on div. We call this button wrapper. And yeah, with button wrapper selected, plus button, and just go and choose 2 buttons. 1 and 2. Okay. Great. So with button wrapper selected, also make sure that display its flex, horizontal, click on it, and just add some column gap here, like that, so they are well separated. And then let's see the design now, how it behaves. So, okay, so we have, we basically have those 2 buttons here. The spacing, it's actually a little bit different. Looks like those are very close to each other. Then we have this element, then we have this one. So I usually do this. I get here, I get on the title wrapper, okay? So I want this little title together of on this one, right? On the page, on this big title here. So I usually select the title wrapper, right click on it, and you can wrap inside of a block, for example, or another div. So let's say I wrap it into a block, okay? Then now, sorry, it's not a block, it's a container. So go back, and again, click on this, right click, and wrap it into a block by clicking here. Now is inside of a block, and now the heading, I can drag it inside of it. So open up the block, click on the heading, drag it, and now those 2 are together. And if I click on block and row gap, right click, let's say I want an XS, great. Then I go on block left, and again, column gap, I will go with, this time a M maybe. Oh, nothing is happening. What's wrong? Let's see. block left, block, and then we have the buttons. So with block left selected, let's see what it's going on here. Row gap. Oh yeah, I did not click row gap. I was on column gap, sorry. So yeah, we can choose the spacing now. You can go with M, for example, and now those two are together. Those are basically spacing well now. Okay, so I will style this very quickly later. Let's go on block right now, and by selecting block right, plus button, search for image. Okay, click on image, select one image, and now we have our image here. Perfect. So what else we need to do here? So the first thing to do is click on the container and make sure the align items is centered so that everything is centered correctly. We basically have our design set it up. Of course, it's not nice as this one, but you know, you need to play around. I will copy this text too and paste it at the place of this one and start styling everything. Okay, so first of all, this is very big. So I click on this text here. Go on style, typography, and here font size you can go with XS, for example. Okay, and also font weight, you can make it bolder if you want. Usually when text is very small, you should go with bolder. And then of course, you know, the border here, you can change it by going on border, and make sure you are in the title wrapper. Okay, go on border, and here the color, you can really change it to something lighter if you wish, like this one. As you can see, it looks like more like the design right now. So click on the title now, and with the title select the typography, font size, you can go with XXL. You can also make a calculation like calc parentheses and multiply this 1.8 or whatever. Ooh, that's big, you know. Okay, something like that. And this one, let's say I don't really want the text to go, you know, until the end. You can basically go select the text first, go and layout and say width, right click on it, and you can, you know, reduce the width based on, you know, or your preference. So let's say I want to make it like that. Okay. And of course, for the buttons, there is many ways to style buttons. I think that is something we already saw. It's quite easy. You need to click on the button, and then you have the icon to add. Like in our case, I'm going to select an arrow, for example. Let me see if I find an arrow. Here we have a few arrows. Oh. And yeah. Select the arrow, you can tell him the position to the left, and then of course on the design we're going to select this, go back, and then I will take me home. Perfect. So I'm not going to style the buttons, it's pretty easy. You need to click on it, and then you can select like outline, for example. If you want this one outline, you can do many things. And you know, if you are using AutomaticCSS, you can style that by using the plugin. Anyway, there is many way to style buttons. It's pretty easy. Okay, so so yeah, later I would save just to make sure. Great, so we made the structure, right? Everything looks great. You can of course link the button like this one. You can just say link to internal post, and you can say, I don't know, homepage, for example. And this one, usually, if you want to use, you want to make it go back. Usually this happens when you get to this page when you're visiting a website, but it's rare. Usually you get to pages by URL. So I'm not sure this button would be useful to you. Anyway, you need to use JavaScript to make sure this button works to get back to the previous page. Okay. Anyway, we did the styling. We did the wireframe. Now let's check the responsiveness of this. like on tablet looks good, but if I start going like on mobile, for example, it's not good, or maybe also on the landscape mobile, we can change it. So basically you click on, you can click on the container and then here just say one column. Okay. And in this way we have the text on the top and in the image at the bottom. Or, you can also, reverse the two section by clicking on block left. Okay, so I click block left and I can say order to, and the image will be at the top. And maybe the image, we can also tell the image to have a different aspect ratio, like one on mobile and or 16:9. Okay, and select like object fit cover, so that it doesn't take like all the screen. Okay, sorry. And on mobile, look at this, it works fine. So let's say I want the block left to be at the top, so I will remove the order, and you get this page not found with the image here, and on mobile same thing. So you can play around and check what works best for you. And of course, if you go here and here, everything works fine, everything looks great. So the tutorial, it's ended here, and I hope that was useful. Please click on the like button to help me out reaching more people, and of course subscribe to the channel if you want to watch more videos. Thank you very much and see you in the next one. Bye.